Hi, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. And today I'm going to be talking about how you can read more in 2019. So in 2018, I set myself a goal of 50 books. Sounds a little crazy. I felt a little crazy, but I'm sitting here at the end of the year and I've read about 85 books. And as crazy as that sounds, I did set myself up for success. So I kind of want to talk about, in just a casual format, how I was able to read so much, how I set myself up for success, and in a roundabout way, how you can do that too, because honestly, everybody is different, everybody's schedule is different, everybody's reasoning for reading is different, but in general, I think we could all be reading more. So the first thing you kind of want to ask yourself is, why do you want to read? Do you want to know more about what's going on in the world? Do you want to just improve yourself or a certain part or aspect of your life? Do you want to just read for enjoyment? Do you want to just like be on social media less? That was personally for me, I wanted to be on social media less, or if I was using social media, I wanted it to be for a more specific purpose. And personally, I did find the book community on Instagram, which led me to the book community on YouTube, which is lovingly referred to as BookTube. And that's kind of like my second point. After you kind of discuss with yourself why you want to read more, find inspiration. Because again, I had always been like a big reader in elementary school and high school. I dropped off in college. I mean, I think we all kind of do, at least readers. And only certain books kind of found their way into my life during and after college. But again, finding that book community on Instagram and seeing how people treated books like art and made these just like gorgeous pictures, and it wasn't just the, the art in the pictures. That's what caught my eye, obviously, but then they were having these discussions in the comment section that just really just made me feel like, why have I not been reading more? There are so many amazing books out there that all these people are talking about, like that have these big followings, that I want to read, that I want to be part of that conversation and part of something fun. Like, I remember reading Harry Potter as they came out and having my friends who all were into the same kind of like reading genre, or we're all into like the same genres, and how exciting it was to talk about that stuff. And I find that more exciting than like talking about like anything on TV or whatever. So I found that inspiration. I found the Instagram community, which led me to the BookTube community, and I mean, I haven't looked back since. I think having people in your life that are supportive of your goals and supportive of what you're trying to accomplish is very important. So having that inspiration, if you don't necessarily have readers in your life, is incredibly important. So fill your Instagram feed with people who have beautiful book pictures or who read similar genres that you're looking to read, people that have good recommendations and good personalities. If there's somebody in particular that you're looking for, ask me. I can lead you in that right direction, whatever your tastes may be. And again, YouTube, look for people, just put in January TBR, to be read. Look to see what people are reading. And again, at first you're going to be a little overwhelmed, but you will start finding the people that you like. If you're more into like self-help, look at Lavender, look at Michelle B, look at Kayla Nicholson. They have great recommendations. If you're into thrillers, Books and Lala. If you're into fantasy, there's I don't know why, but there's like a million people that are into fantasy on BookTube. There's Peruse Project. If you like a little bit of gossip and snark, read with Cindy. I love her. There's so many people that you could find to be encouraged by, to be inspired by. Find those people, fill your life with it, because not only is it going to encourage you to read more, I think it's going to encourage you to just like, I don't know, like to be a better person. I think that's a little corny, but I love filling my feeds, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, whatever it may be, with positivity and things that make me happy. Another thing is time. I honestly think that's what most people always talk to me about, and sometimes it's like a little rude when people say it, but they're like, oh, I wish I had the time to read, as if I have nothing going on in my life. Some people really do genuinely mean that. Like, I have a lot of friends who have like crazy schedules, that work multiple jobs, that have kids, and they have a lot of things taking up their times, but a lot of other people, when they hear about like how much I read, they're like, wow, I wish I had the time. And I'm like, well, I do have a full-time job. I have a cat. I have a husband. I go out a lot to do PR events for restaurants. I have a large family. I have 3 grandparents that are still alive. I have friends in Long Island. I have friends in northern Connecticut that I make time for. So it's not like I have all this extra time to read. I just find the time to read. So find that time. Start slow. 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes at night. You have it. I know you're going to be tired, but you have it. Reading those 10 minutes, adding that to your schedule is not a lot. It's 10 minutes and you can do it. That's how I always say, start by finding 10 minutes. Because when you find 10 minutes, then you find 20 minutes. Especially if you're finding books that you really enjoy, you're gonna find the time and you're gonna increase that time as you go. There's also time that you're probably not thinking about, like in terms of driving. I think one of the best things that you can do if you really don't think you have time is audiobooks. There are a lot of apps out there. There's Audible, which I do, but that's only 1 credit a month. And there's Scribed, which is $8.99 a month, and it's technically unlimited. They have ebooks, they have sheet music, they have newspaper and magazine articles, and they have audiobooks. You get 3 like popular audiobooks a month, but then after that they have like a very large catalog regardless, where you're gonna find something you like. There's Hoopla, which is a library app. Personally, I live in Stamford, and when I signed up for Hoopla, I get 5 books a month. I know some people whose libraries have them signed up for 20 books a month. Kind of depends on the library. There's also the Libby app, which is done by, I believe, Overdrive. Overdrive's another, again, those are just library apps. And there's a lot of places where you can find these audiobooks for free that I'm probably just not aware of yet. So if you know of them, leave them down below to help other people out or to bring them to my knowledge. But audiobooks are a huge, huge bonus and a huge way to read more. You can read when you're driving, you can read when you're walking carefully. And personally myself, I work from home, and there is opportunity for me, not all the time, not every day, but there is an opportunity for me to read more audiobooks. And I think audiobooks are great too for when you're stuck. Like if you're in a book and you like it, but you've just been, like personally for me, if I'm reading a book for too long, then I kind of lose that energy and that drive to finish it. So sometimes if it's a book that like has just been taking me a while, I'll finish it out on audiobook because I want to finish it. I don't want to leave it half read. I do enough of that to myself, and I'm trying to stop it. But audiobooks are a great way to kind of like push through, especially books that are good but have drier parts, or either are slowed in the lead up or slow in the middle. Audiobooks are a great way to just kind of keep pushing through. Another thing that kind of ties in with like the inspiration is subscription boxes. So there are so many subscription boxes. Again, if you want to go in a certain direction, I can lead you there if you want to ask questions. Myself, consistently, I do Book of the Month. They have 5 new books a month. I believe it's $14.99, and they present 5 books a month. Sometimes they have like guest celebrity judges who pick the books, but again, they're all new releases. They're all hardcover. For $15.99 for a hardcover, I mean, that's a great deal. You can also add up to 2 more books to your box. So you pick your book of the month, and then you can add up to 2, either from that same month or from previous months if they still have any left. And it's a great way to kind of keep up with the book community, to know what's out there and what's new, to see. Again, like I think Gabrielle Union chose one of my favorite books from last year. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and I think that's so cool. Like I love Gabrielle Union, and now kind of I feel like I like her even more knowing like kind of what her book tastes are. And again, that's just books, but there are other subscription boxes. There are a lot of Harry Potter ones. And personally, in the past, I have gotten the Owl Crate subscription box, which is specifically young adult, because there are good young adult books. Like some people really poo-poo them, but there are some great young adult books out there. There are also some misses. But again, Owl Crate does the newest books and some of the most popular books in the young adult community, and it's a great way to kind of know what's going on with with the youths, with fellow children, and it's great because you're not having to like force yourself to go into the young adult section and pick something out and be overwhelmed. It's being picked out for you. And even if you don't like the book, within every box is either a candle or a wax melt, or there's socks, pillowcases, there's been tea and hot chocolate. They just have a lot of great and fun items within the box that not only gets you excited to read, but again, if you don't necessarily like the book they picked, there's always cool bookmarks and cool just accoutrement that you can enjoy. On the young adult note, I think that if you've been out of reading for a while, don't overthink it. Like, if you want to choose a smutty book, choose a smutty book. If you want to choose like a young adult book, go for it, because usually those are the easier reads most of the time. And again, I started reading again more in the young adult section of the bookstore when I got back into reading massively, and that really did help me kind of get back into the book community because they were easier reads. I could read them quicker, and I didn't have to think about them too much. But again, you find some great books that really interest you and you get wrapped up into series. So, you know, don't overthink it. Try the young adult. There's nothing wrong with that. And on that note too, graphic novels are something that I'm getting into more. Look for inspiration, ask people at bookshops what they read, but there are some great graphic novel series out there that are interesting, that are engaging, and again, if you're not someone that reads all the time, it's a great way to kind of get your feet wet and get into the community. My most important thing that I want to talk about is just to read what makes you happy. If you're new to the book community, if you're just trying to read a little bit more, people have a lot of opinions. People have strong opinions, and you know, everybody's opinion is valid, and people make great points. People have brought up points that I would never have thought about when it comes to certain books. But in terms of what you read what makes you happy. If you're not enjoying something, don't read it. I kind of lightly partake in the subreddit of books, our books. I'm so old that I'm our books. And so many people on there are just book snobs. If you're not reading classics, then they get at you for not reading classics. But guess what? Most classics are just old white dudes, and they were classics for a reason when they were, but we're a different generation. It's great to read those books still. I enjoy personally classics, not all of them, but some of them. But there are some that I just don't see the point of. They were popular for a reason when they were, but they're not doing anything for me now. And again, with trying to find the time, and if your time is precious, don't just do something because you think you should or because people are judging you. Read what makes you happy, and that's all there is to it. So again, this is more of a casual conversation about how you could read more in 2019. I don't think you should put pressure on yourself to go from 0 to 100. I don't think you should put pressure on yourself to go from not reading at all to reading all the classics. So if you have any, again, specific things you would like me to talk about, or if there's something in particular, if you want to be led in a certain direction in terms of people to follow or genres or where to find books and get books, please talk to me. I'd absolutely love to talk about it. You can look at my previous videos of what I've been reading, and if you like this kind of content, you can give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to come back again and see what I'm reading, you can subscribe, and I will see you in the new year. Bye.